able to read labels and make choices. Cheeses, foods that are fried, foods if you read ingredient labels that have fat as the first ingredient, donuts, some of the things found in the studio here. You know, some of those are very, very high in fat.
Telling all our secrets.
But they can actually dull the mind and make it very, very hard to have control of your mood.
But how can you really tell? I mean, for instance, people say granola bars, it's healthy for you, but it might have chocolate chips in it.
Sure,
so how do you know even by reading the label?
Well, you need to, first of all, do a little personal study and look at the kinds of foods you can choose. Bagels, low-fat muffins, for example. Whole grain breads tend to be low in fat. When you're ordering foods in a restaurant, skip the cream sauces and butter. Make a little better choices. Pasta with tomato sauce, for example.
Sounds like you really have to change your taste buds, too.
A little bit. More and more restaurants are helping us make those changes. But once you've done that, another surprise is if you don't drink enough water during the day. Most of us are dehydrated. When we're dehydrated, we tend to have a little more difficulty thinking clearly. We're not as physically coordinated. So one of the simplest things the viewers can do is to get in the habit of keeping some water nearby during the day and sipping a little bit.
And
it will sharpen your mind.
sitting closer to the bathroom because of what really makes us happy and sad? Can food do this?
Food can influence our mood. There are a couple of discoveries from major research centers, and let me point out that nutrition is only one of the ways to help control our mind and mood. But if, for example, during the day you want to sharpen your mind a little bit, you want to be a little more alert, better able to make decisions, choose meals or snacks that are overall low in fat, because that's fatiguing, so keep the fat low, higher in protein.
Specific examples.
Skinless chicken and turkey breast, for example. Fish, low-fat or non-fat cottage cheese and yogurt with some fruit, skim milk. Those are all good choices. They tend to increase the alertness in the mind. They stimulate the production of brain chemical messengers that make you sharper.
So which is more important, though, what we eat or when we eat it? You mentioned going to bed and letting your stomach rest then, but the rest of the day eating these smaller meals.
But if you eat small amounts of food, in effect, you're resting your digestive tract all the time because it can handle the smaller amounts of food. Now,
but if you're talking bran or something that really takes your intestines, you know, some time.
If you drink enough water, though, that'll help you digest it.
So water really is that key.
But if you do want to calm down, the other side of this mind-mood-food connection is if late in the day the kids are screaming and the office is hectic, and you need to have a calm, focused state of mind, choose a snack that is low in fat, low in protein, but higher in carbohydrates. A bagel, low-fat cookies, a piece of bread with some fruit. Great snack to calm down.
Okay, I'm going to go over to the audience while you talk more about that mood altering. For instance, to start out a day, if you really want to be sharp from the very beginning, specific foods we can eat.
All right, choose a breakfast or a mid-morning snack, for example, that's a little bit higher in protein than you might normally choose. Keep the fat low. So we're talking about skinless chicken or poultry breast, for example, some fish, low-fat or non-fat, cottage cheese, yogurt, skim milk with some fruit. Within about 30 minutes, it increases some chemical messengers in the brain that sharpen your alertness. They let you make a little sharper decisions. They improve your coordination. But late in the day, that's often not a good choice. You'll jump at every sound when the kids are complaining and there's pressure.
Your name, question?
Brenda. Doctor,
Brenda has a question.
Yes.
Yeah, doctor. How do you feel about food binding and the pros and cons of food binding?
You mean
tell us what that is.
Yes.
Food combining?
Yes.
Well, it's interesting. There are those people who claim that all of us must combine certain foods in a very specific way. You have to eat this kind of vegetable with this higher protein food and so on. The truth is we're all biochemically different. You need to learn what feels best for you, and there may be certain combinations of foods in a meal that leave you feeling a little uncomfortable, so then you make the choice to change those. There is no hard and fast rule that's right for all of us. That's scientifically wrong. If someone says that, they're wrong.
Bob has a question.
Yes, Doc. I'd like to know how you feel about taking Shockley vitamins.
Well, I think a couple of things about vitamin and mineral supplements in general. First of all, they're only one piece of the nutrition puzzle. They don't make up for a poor diet. They don't make up for eating high-fat foods. And nutrition is only one aspect of being fit and healthy. Exercise, stress management, and other steps are part of that concern. So as long as you have the perspective right, they're only one tiny piece of the puzzle. Keep the dosage low. We call it a broad spectrum, low dosage multivitamin mineral. Include it at the times when you eat your meals. For most of us, that could be a wise or good step, but don't take it out of perspective. It's not the most important part of nutrition.
Danielle.
Hi. I heard, and as you said that drinking a lot of water is important.
It is.
Would drinking like a coffee or a tea, would that be taken in place of a glass of water?
Well, that's a very good question, because when we drink, not only do most of us not drink enough water during the day, and we just get out of the habit. And we don't know how much sharper our mind could be only because we're not used to sipping a little extra water. When you drink caffeinated beverages, coffee, tea with caffeine, cola drinks, or alcoholic beverages, you actually make the dehydration worse. That actually makes it worse. Where if you're choosing non-caffeinated beverages and non-alcoholic beverages, sure. Fruit juice and other choices are fine. Not decaffeinated tea, fine.
Lisa has one question.
Hello, I want to ask if it's safe to substitute sugar with NutraSweet since it has less calories.
To eat foods with NutraSweet?
No, to substitute all sugar you're taking with
Eliminate
NutraSweet.
sugar.
Okay, eliminate sugar from the diet, substitute NutraSweet? That's an interesting question. There are conflicting scientific studies about that. Some studies show that artificial sweeteners can actually increase the appetite. So you may actually eat more, and if you're doing it in part to control body fat, it may backfire for some people. The key, again, is don't make it a crutch. You know, watch calories in general. It's much more important to cut back on the fat. Fat in foods goes almost immediately to body fat. Carbohydrate foods have a very, very difficult time becoming fat. So a calorie isn't a calorie. Fat is definitely harder for the body to deal with, and it goes to fat quickly. So watch that first. That's the most important.
And you've given us what we call the mind-mood-food connection, some good positive things to let us end on. Establish a positive mealtime environment. You mentioned no hostility during mealtime. Establish regular meal times, eat the same time every day. Relax during meals. Chill, in other words, is mealtime, right? Don't go for more than 3 hours without eating, and avoid high-fat foods. Some real good advice.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing them with us. Well,